You good?
Yeah, I'm good.
Alright, cool. So basically, I was speaking to your mom for a little bit.
Hmm.
So basically, the academy system here is like you can basically play like for free. Maybe you pay for kit when you're like younger. Um,
Yeah.
but they basically sponsor it. And I remember your mom saying that you guys have to pay like a lot of money like to even just play. So now, like, what? How was that? Because obviously you and
Hmm.
Mateo, your brother, were both playing. So
Yeah.
how was that?
Yeah. I think it was tough because growing up, we both played a bunch of sports. We played, basketball, football, and we wanted to try everything. And then, it hit a point where because we were paying so much money, you had to pay for other sports too. And it came a point where mom just told us straight up that, you have to choose what do you want to play. And if you want to play soccer, you can't play anything else because of the money. It was costing, quite a lot at the time, especially for both of us to play. So we had to, we both chose soccer. But yeah, it costs a lot of money, especially for two people to play. And I mean, eventually, when I moved on to Kansas, they pay for everything. That's how the MLS Academy works. They pay for everything. They pay for my housing and all that stuff. So that's when it got better. But at the start, just to start up as a kid who just wanted to play as for fun, having to pay thousands of dollars just to play the highest level of soccer according to then you have to pay money. And I think that's the problem that's being brought up now, and especially in America, is that if we want to have the best players, you can't charge this much money just to get them to play. And yeah, but we did it, and it kind of turned out well for us. So, but yeah, it's just tough to do.
So how was it making the move away from your family at a young age? Like how was that mentally? Like
Uh, that was pretty hard. I tell you, the first 3 months, because I was 15 or 14 when I moved.
yeah,
So I was starting high school one, and first year high school, new team, new state. I've never been away from my family for longer than 3 weeks.
yeah,
So I was like thinking about it, like going back when I was making the decisions. I didn't really think of that much. Like I was just kind of going at it. I was like, I'm gonna move. I don't really care that much. And then it kind of the day before, I was like, wait, I actually have to like leave here. And I didn't think it hit me then. And then I got there, and my mom stayed with me for about a week, and it still didn't, she was there, so I was like, it's fine. I'll stay in a hotel a couple of days, kids settle into school. And then she left, and those 2 or 3 months were terrible because I was living with a new family, and so I didn't. That was just awkward in general, and I had to handle that. It was my freshman year of high school, so I knew nobody, and I was starting a new school. And then the easiest part for me was the soccer, and obviously going into a new team, new teammates, new coaches, you can't just walk in there and start. So those first 3 months, I was struggling just to see the field, and it was all I was kind of just like, what, I want to go home now.
yeah.
But after those 3 months, it kind of switched when I started playing more. Then you got some new friends, you got closer with your family and stuff like that. So, but now it's all paid out. So
Yeah. What during that time like made you like stick through it? Like were you talking to your family regularly, or they were just telling you like be patient and stuff like
yeah.
that? But obviously at that time, like you're going through it,
Mm-hmm.
so like you can only see it in your eyes. So
Yeah.
like, how did you do that?
No, I talk to my mom pretty much every day. I think I still do, but back then it was we had a lot of talk because I think she was the one that wanted me to stay more. I told her, I was like, I want to come home as soon as possible. Like I don't like it here.
Yeah.
I don't care about the soccer. I'll play for Fusion. It doesn't matter. I'll stay here, or I want to go home. And then she kept on telling me, just wait till the end of the semester, the school semester at the time. So I moved in around August, and December is when she was telling me just to wait it out and see how you like it then. And she was right enough that we had around that time 3 or 4 months hit, and it came December, and I was like, all right, I'll stay here. It's fun. We had the showcase, and I was playing amazing then. We had like 3 games in front of national team scouts and everything, and I scored each game. And then that's when everything started to switch. And then yeah, school was still the hardest part for me. I switched to online school at the end of the semester. I think just for me, I just didn't really like school in general. So starting a new school wasn't it for me. So I just moved to online school. And once I figured all that out, I was only going up from there.
Yeah, for us guys, obviously in England and other places who don't know what a showcase is, what's the showcase?
It was at the time. I think they still do them. It's just every team in the league or the academy. They all go to a place, and it was Florida. They do Florida, California. They all meet up, and then you play teams who are. I don't know how they do now, but back then it was you had your closest to your record or something like that. So teams who were ranked to you. So MLS academies played MLS academies, and then that was a time for so Fusion could play Sporting Kansas City in a game. And like I said, all the scouts would go watch the MLS academies. So every non-MLS team wanted to go play against them in the stadiums with it, and a bunch of games were going on, and it was just for all the scouts and MLS academies to see these other players, and a bunch of national team coverage and stuff like that. Even scouts from Europe were coming to watch, and it was kind of just to showcase your talent for all the players, and it's kind of just like a big tournament.
Did you ever play Fusion?
Nah, I never played against Fusion. I don't think I ever played at MLS Academy before I came to Kansas City.
Yeah.
So, and then, I think when I got to Kansas City, we just played strictly MLS teams, so I don't really remember. We never came across each other now.
Okay, so fast forward, obviously now you're getting more acquainted at Sporting KC, and now you sign your professional contract. How did that come about? Like, where were you? Like, who did you tell first? Like, how did that
okay, so it was the playoff time for the academy. So this is the end of my first academy year. So when I was 14 still, or 15 at the end of the year. So we were going into playoffs, and you had three group stage games, and we won all three, or tied one. We moved on. We played really well, and I played really well. And then I think it was the quarterfinals the next, and we got to play in the stadium of the first team, so Children's Mercy Park, where I play now. And we got to play there, and it was against Salt Lake, and it was a big game. Kansas really never had home playoff games in the academy. It was a really big thing. So all my family flew in, my whole family, brother, dad, everybody flew in. And what I didn't know at the time was that our Brian Bliss, our contract guy, I guess, he told my parents earlier before they got there that they're gonna offer me a contract and they said after the game, so he could focus on the game, stuff like that. But I mean, it didn't really matter. We lost like 5-0 or something. We got smashed. So that day I was sad. I mean, I was not in the mood because we lost the playoff game. We deserved to lose. They destroyed us. So, but that night, the first team played, and I got to sit in like a suite, and I was like, well, why am I sitting in a suite? It's just my family, and I'm an academy kid. Like, this isn't that big of a deal. And we lost. So, like, we won, I would understand, but we lost. So, why am I sitting in this? And it was the nicest suite. It's still there. And we go up there, and I'm sitting down, my family beside me, my mom beside me. I'm just sitting down watching the game, and my sister's recording. She's recording me, and my mom reaches in her book or her pocketbook and hands me just a folder. And I was like, it was a great folder. I had no idea what was in it, and I look in it, and the first big words were in like MLS Contract and all the the deals and everything. And I was kind of in shock. I was like, what is this supposed to mean? She was like, my mom was smiling, and everybody was recording. And they were like, you got offered a homegrown deal, and I had no idea at the time. And I was just, I didn't want to like scream and everything because I guess nobody knew besides my family.
Yeah.
So, and there were fans around us, so I couldn't like go crazy. So I was kind of just looking at it, like jumping in my chair pretty much. And then that next day, that's when we got all the pictures and everything. I accepted it, and we took all the pictures on the field, and the press conference was the next couple of days or two. So yeah, that's how I learned about it. And I guess we can ask my family for their point of view.
So from then, when did you like start? When did they integrate you to like playing with the first team and stuff and training?
I think I signed, and then as soon as I signed, I started training with them every day. And then so I did 2 a day. So I trained in the morning with the first team, go home, then come back and train with the academy. because I don't think I was ready, and they didn't think I was ready to play with the first team at the time. So I was just training with them at the time, and then I would still play games with the academy, and I think that went on throughout the whole year pretty much. So I signed in August. The whole year I was just training with the academy. I was training with the first team, playing games with the academy. And then I went to preseason that next year, January. I went to preseason, and I started playing well there. Then that's when I made my debut with the second team, so the Swole Park Rangers at the time. And I played with them. And then I played well enough to make my debut. And then
Did you like see any differences that you brought to your game when you were training with the first team and then you're playing games with your team? Like, did it feel like your games were easy or like what?
I think the academy games were easier. I can tell you that.
Yeah.
But it was also after I could tell the first team that it's a whole another level, because I was still playing U16. I played like 2 U18 games, and then I played U16. So I was used to being, even though I was small, I could still outpace people. I could push people over, and that was just me. I just could do that against other 14 and 15-year-olds. But I get on the first team. It's guys who are 27 and they're working out every day, and they're just scrawny on me. So I definitely have to work on just I started lifting. I never really lifted that much. So I'd start lifting, and the speed of play was so much faster. You have no time to really think about anything. And I think now the game's slower for me, but those first 1 or 2 years, everything's kind of just scrambling in your head. You're spinning, especially as a midfielder. People are just running at you from everywhere, and you have no idea what to do, and you're not strong enough to hold them all. So it was kind of just mixed up, and it was pretty bad. But in trains, it took me a couple months to really get my feet in. And then after that, I kind of learned and started to get better at it.
So who on the first team really put their arm around you and kind of welcomed you and kind of showed you per se the ropes?
Cool. I think with Kansas we have a good group of guys who have been here a while. We have a bunch of veterans. So Matt Beasler, Graham Zusi, Roger Espinosa. They're the main core have been here forever pretty much. Yeah. But I definitely say Roger was one of them. Roger Espinosa. He's played in he played in England for a little bit, and he won an FA Cup, and he's a character. I think he taught me the ropes because he's also a midfielder. Yeah. And his play style is really something that's cool to watch. He's pretty much an engine. He doesn't he just runs. He doesn't stop running, and he'll go straight through you. And he may not be the best most talented soccer player, but he's making sure that he's the hardest working player on the team, and nobody's outworking him, and he's winning everything in the middle, and nothing's getting past him without getting kicked. And I think that aggressiveness is something that you can really learn from. It's gotten so far, and that how he just he's nobody's going to beat him, and that's something that I'm an attacking player. I don't like defending that much. So for me to learn my defensive side from one of the best at it, I think that really helped me a lot.
Now, what'd you call it? So obviously now, put some time forward, and you're making your debut. You made your debut against Montreal, right? Oh no, Salt Lake.
Yeah, that was
you made your professional against
Dallas.
So how was that? How did you find out? Did the coach tell you before, or you kind of just found out?
Nah. The Salt Lake game, that was the Open Cup game. So it's kind of where all the subs and young guys get a chance to go. So that whole week before we were training together. So I was ready for that one. I prepared for that one. And it was still tough because up there the elevation and stuff like that. It was bad, and I couldn't even breathe at the end of the game. But I played it only 1-2-0. Then the FC Dallas, my MLS debut, I had no idea really, because they just send out the roster. The starters, but you don't know. And I think this was my second time on the bench. Yeah. So this is my second time on the bench. You don't know if you're gonna go in. There was, we had 4 other guys who have MLS experience who've been playing and getting subbed in a lot. So I was just kind of on the bench, wasn't expecting anything, and we were losing at the time when I got subbed in. So I was kind of like, oh, he's not going to put me in. We're losing. We actually need to win here. And that's another story for it's up 5-0 when you get somebody in. But we were down 2-0, and I'm just warming up, and then I look over and he's shouting, and one thing down there, you never know who he's calling. He just shouts, and everybody kind of like steps forward and does a little until he either says stop or keep on coming. So we just all took a turn, and I was the last person. I was like, I'm not gonna go. Why do I have to run over? And now he pointed at me, so I was like, oh, okay. And then I sprinted over there, and he was like, you ready? I was like, yeah, sure, I got this. And then, I went in, and then, we still lost, but I think it was a good debut. Just, it was like 10 minutes. I connected some passes. I was just not trying to mess up. And then we scored a goal, actually, when I was in. And then, I think that was a good game, though, to get my feet wet.
Okay, how about when you scored your first goal?
Oh.
How was that feeling?
Yeah.
Bro, I was watching that game.
Yeah.
But I'll let you talk first, innit?
That was so I started on the bench then. Actually, I came back from England. I was in England for a national team, and I came back about maybe a couple days before we left for Vancouver. So, I was jet lagged, I was tired. But, so we got to Vancouver. We started off bad. I think we were down 1-0 when we were at halftime, and, we go in the locker room, and he's screaming at all of us. He's yelling at us, ripping us. And we go out there, and we start playing. Around 60th minute, we score, and it's tied 1-1. And usually at during that season, I was going in around the 80th minute, getting 10, 20 minutes maybe. And 60th minute, he calls me, and I think it was Johnny at the time. We both go in at the same time. And I was like, okay, I get 30 minutes to do something. So I got in there, and I was so excited because this was like my first time actually getting into the game. And I think the first 10 minutes, it was kind of rough. I was slipping and stuff like that, and I missed a couple passes. But after that, I felt like I was in the game, and I was playing passes. And then I played a couple nice passes, and I was playing really well. And then I was then it was 3-1 or 3-1 or 4-1, something like that. And I was like, okay, well maybe I can get myself a goal too. Everybody's scoring. We're all happy. Everybody's going forward. And like 93rd minute, 5-minute stoppage time, 93rd minute, Johnny just steals it, and it's a 2 or 3-on-1 actually, and I'm just running down the back post, and he just slips one across, and I smash it in. Nah.
Bro, don't lie to me.
Nah.
Yo.
A little tap in. No, I was nervous because it came over, and I was like, "Bet this is easy, just nice. Don't mess it up." I did one of those where you hit it with your heel. You don't expect to hit it with your heel. Yeah. I was just expecting to, just having it normal, and it hit my heel, and I was literally like, right there. You can see me in the video. I stopped. I'm like, "Oh, if this misses, this is terrible." And the goalie, he gave up. So if he would have kept on coming, he could have saved it. But it went straight, slow rolling back across the goal, and I stopped. And when it went, I just stood there. I was like, really? And I turned around and I sprinted back because I was so happy that it went in, but I was nervous at the same time.
No, it was good to get that first one on the way. But I remember I was watching the game, and shout out to Johnny in it for passing it across. He could have scored.
Yeah.
But when oh my days, I was like, yo, we hit his heel, and he stopped. But damn, man, you got the first goal. That's the main thing, innit?